What's up, everybody? Mike Dolce, four-time world MMA trainer of the year. Today, I'm going to tell you how to gain 20 pounds of functional, lean, healthy, powerful muscle mass. Now, you might not know, but I just lost 50 pounds in 12 weeks, 49 pounds to be exact. And now I'm going to recomposition myself. I'm going to add muscle back on to this healthy, lean, athletic physique. But what I wanted to share with you is what I've learned over my 30 plus years in lifting weights, building strength, and gaining muscle. In high school, did you know I started high school as a 114-pound freshman, and I graduated as a 210-pound senior. I only grew about 4 inches in high school. I put on muscle. I added over 20 pounds of muscle per year during high school, and I continued on. I actually wound up capping out at 282 pounds at my biggest as a power lifter. And I found my most ideal weight to be somewhere around 218 to 222. I looked awesome. I looked like an X-Man, I should say, at that weight. But I wanted to teach you right now how to gain muscle, how to add muscle. So stay with me and let's go. Number one is you must be in a caloric surplus. But before you go out there and you buy that big old dog food bag of Joe Weider's Ultimate Weight Gainer, you don't want to do that. That will make you fat. I got fat doing that. Way too fat. 282, I should have been more like 235. I had a ton of body fat hanging off my frame that I just did not need. And it took me years to get that body fat off. My skin was stretched out. That took me a long period of time to get back to a healthy, athletic, lean physique. So calorie surplus is mandatory, but start at 300 extra calories per day and let that go for 10 days. I like 10-day cycles. Forget about the 7-day work week. 10-day cycles, right? 300 extra calories per day. And how do we do this quick and hard math right now? There's something called the Harris-Benedict equation. The Harris-Benedict equation is a generally recognized ideal estimate of what your true metabolic need is from a caloric standpoint. Now, there is a hack to this. Simply take your current body weight times 10. If you weigh 200 pounds times 10, you need about 2,000 calories in order to maintain your current physique. Easy. Now, you're exercising a little harder, a little less. Don't worry about that right now. Take Harris-Benedict, your body weight times 10, add 300 extra calories. If you weigh 200 pounds, you want to take in 2,300 calories as an estimate per day for 10 days. And you look at the scale. Day 2, you look at the scale. Day 3, you look at the scale. What is the scale doing? In that 10-day period of time, if you have gained 0.5 to 1.5 pounds, you are doing great. Do not make a change until the scale stops going up. If you're gaining more than 2 pounds in that 10-day period of time, there's a high likelihood you are gaining body fat. We don't want to do that. Lean gains. This is a lean gain video. I'll do another conversation on ultimate bulking. This is a lean gain video right now. And if I could go back in time 30 years, I would only lean gain. So Harris-Benedict times 10, body weight times 10, you get your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, plus 300, 10 days. That is the best and easiest hack right there to get you building healthy, functional muscle tissue. What do you do at the end of 10 days? The end of 10 days, add another 300 calories. So you went from 2,000 calories to 2,300 calories to 2,600 calories. Now, this is getting real. Again, during that period of time, from day 10 to day 20, you do not want to gain more than about 1.5 pounds. Again, if you're gaining more than that in that 10-day period of time, you're likely adding body fat. What I would do in that situation, I might not cut calories first. What I would do is I would increase cardiovascular output. I would simply add an extra 10 minutes to the end of my strength training sessions, and I would add an extra 10 minutes to my 30-minute morning list, which everyone should be doing. If you're trying to gain weight, you should be walking fasted in the morning. If you're trying to lose weight, you should be walking fasted in the morning. Fasted list is mandatory for all humans, regardless of your athletic or aesthetic goal. Now, from there, you simply just rinse and repeat with calories, and eventually you will find a cap. You probably never want to double your BMR, your starting BMR. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you need 2,000 calories. You probably never want to go above 4,000 calories. You never want to double it. And most likely, you want to get close to 1.5 to 1.8 at the end. But this is when part 2 comes in. Part 2 is progressive overload. Focus on the functional lifts. We push, we pull, we squat, we hinge at the waist, and we rotate or we resist rotation through the trunk. We want to focus on those primary movements, multi-joint compound movements, recruiting the most amount of muscle fibers with the heaviest possible weight with perfect form. Training between 4 to 8 repetitions, ideally right around 6 repetitions. 6 to 8 repetitions is probably the best of both worlds when you're talking about myofibrillar hypertrophy and sacroplasmic hypertrophy. This is the thickening of the muscle fibers and also the ability of the muscle fiber to retain and hold greater levels of glycogen, allowing them to perform at a glycolytic fashion to greater degrees later on. It's stored energy effectively in the muscle tissue. Now, that's a very specific style of training, which you can accomplish in that 6 to 8 rep range. 4 reps, you can touch down the 4 reps every so often. 10 reps, you can touch every so often. But for maximum muscle gain, progressive overload in that 6 to 8 rep sweet spot, performing typically 2 to 3 sets of 3 to 4 exercises along that plane again being pushing, pulling, squatting, hinging, and then we focus on anti-rotation through the core. When we push vertically straight up, overhead presses, and we push straight forward, typically floor presses. Stay away from bench presses, most of you. Dumbbell incline presses are better for true muscular growth and also transfer to the athletic fields than a traditional bench press, to which most people are not well anatomically suited for. Dumbbell incline presses, a 30-degree to 45-degree incline is ideal. Standing overhead military presses, barbell, dumbbell, kettlebell are ideal. From a pull capacity, we're thinking about weighted underhand chin-ups, vertical pull, and also a form of bent over row. Make sure you're bracing the core when you are bent over in that hinge position, protecting the lower back. Check out Dr. Stuart McGill, the back mechanic, for proper spinal posture. This is going to save you when you get past the 25, 30, 35-year-old range, keep you training healthy. From there, we talk about squatting. Squatting is simply bending at the knee. Goblet squatting, front squatting, barbell back squatting, even walking lunges. These are all variations of the squat. And the hinge would be a conventional deadlift, a Romanian deadlift, a Zercher or a Zercher good morning. These are all great ways to focus on the hinge muscle. So we want to slowly build ourselves into a caloric surplus, starting at about 300 calories per day above our BMR, which is taking our body weight times 10, adding 300, and giving it a solid 10 days. Then we want to focus on progressive overload, training the benchmark lifts. 6 to 8 repetitions is the Goldilocks zone, 2 to 3 exercises, 2 to 3 sets per exercise. Everyone's volume will be a little bit different, but in these workouts, have your training journal, write it down so you know and compete with yourself. Every time you walk in the gym, you must lift slightly more weight or slightly more reps, or lift the same rate for the same reps in slightly less time with better form. Never, ever, ever sacrifice form. We train until biomechanical failure, never total muscular failure. That's when you risk injury. And if you get injured, guess what? No gym for you. You cannot go to the gym. You cannot train. Progressive overload is wiped off the table and you backslide. If that happens, you must immediately drop your calories or you will get fat, because now you're eating at a surplus based upon the stimulation of progressive overload, sending the signal for muscle protein synthesis to grow new muscle. And if you are not able to send that signal, you must dramatically reduce calories back to maintenance, and even maintenance minus slightly, depending on how far your activity levels drop. Be aware of that. I'll do another video on that down the road. Also, the next 2 points are coincided with what I put out in yesterday's video, how to lose 50 pounds. 1 is drink more water, improve digestion. 2 is sleep. Again, we focus on those 90-minute sleep cycles. We must sleep a minimum of 7.5 hours in order to get through the appropriate number of sleep cycles. If we are not capable of doing that, you are not building maximum muscle tissue. I'm going to cut this video there. I hope it was helpful. If you want more information, click the links below. I do host one-on-one consultations. Also, we have the #1 rated online healthy diet and exercise platform at thedolcediet.com. And lastly, the most powerful protein on the planet is the Dolce Whey, our cold processed cross-flow, microfiltered, grass-fed whey protein isolate. This is the most pristine protein on the planet. Check our formula at metcon.com/Dolce. Compare our ingredient list to any other protein powder out there, and you will immediately understand the integrity and the science behind our formulation when you compare it to everyone else. Use promo code Dolce to save 20% and get in the best shape of your life. If you have any questions, any comments, please leave them below. The first 24 hours of posting these videos, I will answer every question, every comment, and happy to engage with you. Thank you again for being here, ladies and gentlemen. And until next time, boom!